Hey guys, it's me again. Sorry, I've been on a bit of a hiatus, but I got some bad news last week, and I just needed some time, I guess, to recover from it. So, like I mentioned in my last video, I did have one embryo that had fertilized and that reached the 8-cell stage on Sunday. Um, I was told I would get a call back on Tuesday to let me know if we were going to do the transfer. I got a call on Tuesday to let me know that the embryo was at the marula stage, just before the blastocyst stage, and that everything looked good. So by this time, it had survived 5 days in the culture medium, which means that it was a really strong embryo. Um, and I was told that they would call me the next day to let me know whether or not to go in for embryo transfer. Um, but unfortunately, my embryo did not survive the night on Tuesday night, so I got the call on Wednesday letting me know that my first IVF cycle had come to an end and that I could stop my estrus and prometrium medications that at that time. It was a very difficult time for me that day, and it still is now. I decided to spend the long weekend, it was Canadian Thanksgiving, with my family in Toronto, and that helped, but it was difficult, of course, getting back home and having to deal with it. Um, I did have an appointment with another IVF clinic. I went previously through Procrea, and I had an appointment this morning with Dr. Menard at OVO. He went through my file and he explained to me something that had never been explained to me before, that I have hydrosalpinx on my right ovary and that is leaking into my uterine cavity. And that's something that had been revealed um, during my hydrosalpingography on May 24th of this year, so quite some time ago. And that the leaking into my uterine cavity would make it almost impossible for me to become pregnant through IVF or any other means, because the leaking can either flush out the embryos or make the uterine environment very inhospitable for them. So he said there were two choices to move forward if I would like to get pregnant. One of removing the fallopian tube in its entirety, and the other of putting some type of spring into the fallopian tube. But the preferred option is certainly removal of the tube. This is not possible for some women who have severe endometriosis, who've had several previous surgeries, who have a lot of cysts. But that is not my case, so we did decide to schedule that surgery. So now I'm on the waiting list for Hôpital St. Luc to go in for Dr. Menard to remove that fallopian tube probably next month, November, and if not November, then December. He would then want me to wait 2 months to recover before proceeding with my next IVF cycle. So my second round of IVF would then start in either January or February of 2013. Um, of course, it's not great news knowing that I have to go for surgery, but I'm very relieved to know about it now. I still have 3 cycles that I can get paid for by the government, um, and it's good to know that I can get this taken care of now instead of wasting all of those cycles, which I would have done if I had continued with my IVF treatments, not knowing about this very significant problem that I'm facing right now. So I'm very relieved to have found a doctor who's helping me out with this, and hopefully everything's going to go smoothly with the surgery, and we'll be able to get a good number of follicles again in my IVF treatments in either January or February of next year. I'm going to update you to let you know how things are going in terms of the surgery once I learn more about what's to be going on. I did watch a video on YouTube earlier today of what the procedure looks like. Basically, they burn or cauterize the end of the fallopian tube. They then use scissors to cut it, and on the end they use a laser to cut through the fallopian tube. They then suck out the fallopian tube through a tube that they have inserted in me, and they'll then do a biopsy of it. There's going to be 4 incisions made into my abdomen from 5 to 10 millimeters in size each. Um, it should be a few days for me to recover from the procedure. I will be under general anesthesia. There is a chance, of course, of internal bleeding if they nick anything there, but it's supposed to be just under 1%, so not very high. And I'm not allowed to lift anything for a month post-op. So that's where I am right now. Um, I actually feel a bit better knowing the situation, knowing that even if my embryo had survived, I wouldn't have been able to get pregnant, and knowing that now I can give a fighting chance to my future embryos. So that's it for now. I hope everybody's doing really well, and I'll update you as soon as I know more. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.